Ah! Ooh.
Let's have a look at the different types of cracks we might find on a guqin and talk about if we need to actually fix them or not. This is on the head of the guqin. It looks like it's on a fairly large area, but actually this is more likely a cosmetic crack. So whether or not you fix it, it's up to you. It won't affect you practicing, and it likely won't affect the sound of the qin. This one here is cracking along the yueshan, or the bridge of the qin. The bridge is an extra piece of wood that is put into a groove in the body of the qin and then glued down. So this is most likely because the bridge is either expanding due to too much wetness in the air, or contracting because there's not enough wetness in the air, which is causing this crack. If that's the case, then this is a cosmetic crack and you don't need to fix it. But you need to check that the bridge here is not moving. If you try and move it, that it's not moving. If it's moving, that means it's not glued down well enough, and we need to re-glue it, because then it will affect the strings and will affect the sound of your qin. This qin has what we call 断纹 for guqin. 断纹 happens over time. There's really no way to prevent this. But 断纹 takes a very, very long time to form naturally. It's because over many years, the wood itself and the lacquer paint on top will react. It will expand, it will shrink, it will expand, it will shrink as the years go by, causing this sort of crack. 断纹 is actually not a flaw on guqin. It is actually highly sought after because it shows the age of a guqin. And there are many different types of 断纹. Some can actually increase the value of your qin. Nowadays, there are actually guqin makers who will artificially create 断纹because there are people who like this aesthetic. This one here, we got two cracks, one right here, one up at the top. These are both cosmetic cracks. They won't affect the sound of the qin, they won't affect you practicing, so it's not necessary to fix these. Here we have a crack here and going alongside there. These are also cosmetic cracks. This is happening because these pieces of wood at the base of the qin or at the foot of the qin are glued down on top of the body. So it's very common for there to be cracks where the two pieces of wood connect. They're usually cosmetic. They don't go down into the body of the qin. So whether or not you fix them is up to you. They don't affect the sound and they don't affect your ability to practice. These sorts of minute cracks are very common to see on the guqin, and again, they don't affect the sound, they don't affect your ability to practice. They're just on the surface. It's just the paint that's cracked, so it's really not necessary to get these fixed. Here we have a qin that the bottom board itself has cracked along the I don't know if this is the longchi or the fengzhao, but it's one of the openings on the bottom. So in this case, I would recommend getting this fixed because this is a very large crack. This is not just the paint, it is actually the wood itself, and depending on how deep that crack goes, it can affect the sound. It doesn't affect your ability to practice it because you're practicing on the top board and this is the bottom board. But just to prevent this from going any further, it'd be a good idea at least to get it looked at. Here we have another type of 断纹. This is called 梅花断, which is plum blossom cracks because the shape of them actually look like plum blossoms. And again, some people really like this. This is sought after. These are cosmetic. You don't necessarily need to get them fixed. Most people, if they've had a qin for long enough that it's causing this sort of crack, they probably won't want to get that fixed. And here we have a qin that I don't know what's happened here, but this is definitely one where you do need to get this looked at and fixed. The paint is actually chipping away from this qin itself, and it looks like there is a very large and very deep crack right along here, and also here it looks like something has scraped along this qin and just pushed the paint out. So this is definitely one that you will need to get fixed. It is fixable. It's going to take some time and it will cost a lot of money, but it is fixable.